Hey Fred, we got another question from our friends of Fred, from Sarah down under in Australia. She was asking, she was actually saying that she was getting into raw foods and kind of introducing it to her family, and she's she's hopeful that they'll be open to the process. But she was giving some general questions about fats and oils, the best ones to cook with, because her mom has high cholesterol. She's kind of confused because there's a lot of information out there. As you always say, hey, there's a lot of information out there, and people don't know what or how to distinguish or differentiate this information. So she's asking about, the healthiest cooking oil, extra virgin olive oil, rice brand oil, extra virgin coconut oil. Right now she's using rice brand oil, which I went to the website. It's over in Thailand. Looks like it's a good source, obviously, but I would like to have your thoughts on that. But in general, there's a lot of, talk out there about coconut oils and coconuts and the oils to use in relationship to cholesterol. So can you please bring in some of your clinical experience on this?
No problem, Rory. Well, I don't know. I'd like to know what she's cooking in the oil, but I don't recommend cooking anything in oil. Because whenever you bring oil to a certain temperature where it starts to smoke, that oil, no matter what it is, becomes a carcinogen. So I don't encourage anybody to fry anything. When you hear the word saute is really a fancy French word for frying. And I don't encourage any type of cooking that's in oil. Maybe a little bit of quick stir frying in and out of a pot where it's only in there for, in a wok, it's only in there for 60 to 120 seconds. But that's probably the best way to do it. And then you want to use an oil that can withstand the highest temperatures, because the whole key behind using the oils that withstand the highest temperatures, once the oil starts to smoke, that oil is really burning. Once that oil is smoking, that oil, no matter what it is, doesn't make any difference what it is, whether it's coconut oil, olive oil, rice oil, or crankcase oil, I don't care what kind of oil it is, that oil is going to become a carcinogen. I don't encourage people to fry anything. So what I would encourage this lady from Australia is don't fry anything. Steam it. And then if you want to put some oil on it to give it flavor, take a little extra virgin olive oil. I'm not convinced that coconut oil is all that it's cracked up to be. I know it has lauric acid, it has some antibacterial qualities, but a lot of people now are encouraging people to fry in coconut oil. It is a saturated fat. It does raise cholesterol in spite of what people say, but that doesn't always mean that it's bad for you just because it raises cholesterol. Because there's all kinds of new studies that show that the main thing about your lipid profile is not your cholesterol level, it's your CRP, homocysteine, HDL, and LDL. But I don't encourage anybody to fry. I don't encourage anybody to overdo. Some fats are very, very healthy. In moderation, fats are actually good for you. But the way that you prepare them is very, very important. Fried foods, no matter how you look at it, is detrimental to your health. If you're deep frying, you're looking for trouble. You're putting a burden on your liver, your gallbladder. You're going to run into all kinds of problems. So I'm totally against frying. Don't let anybody convince you that there's some oil that you could take and that you could fry, because once that oil smokes, it's another contributory factor to all the things that are causing cancer in our society.
Well, Fred, thank you very much for that. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into the elements of cholesterol, about how people say high cholesterol and low cholesterol. I know you do a lot of reading on this, and I know when people come see you, they're always concerned about this all the time. So can you just make some general, clinical comments on cholesterol from what you've seen, please?
Well, right now, there's a controversy going on. It seems to be a certain amount of confusion, even on a scientific level, about cholesterol. Many, many people are having heart attacks that don't have elevated cholesterol. And there's a lot of people who have elevated cholesterol that are not having heart attacks. There's a big controversy about, saturated fat and monosaturated fats. What I have seen is that what's more important in cholesterol is the CRP, which is C-reactive protein that shows the inflammation in the arterial lining. If you have inflammation, you have elevated CRP, you can have a cholesterol 175 and you can end up with blocked coronary arteries. And then, of course, homocysteine is definitely a factor. HDL. The normal range for HDL from a lot of laboratories is 40 to 60, but there shouldn't be no limits on HDL. The higher it is, the better. I've seen people have an HDL of 90 or 95. Anybody with an HDL of 90 or 95, in my opinion, remember, this is just from my experience, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving people medical advice. I have seen the higher the HDL is, the less chance you have of having heart disease, especially if you have CRPs in the normal range, homocysteines in the normal range. The key is not to be dogmatic. Eat a variety of food that's unprocessed. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Eat whole grains if you can eat whole grains. Don't overdo the animal protein. A lot of people are trying to convince people now the more protein you eat, the better off you're going to be. That has not been my experience. When people come to see me and they want to eat animal protein, it's the quality of the animal protein that's important. I tell them eat grass-fed beef because as long as the grass don't have pesticides, that type of beef is going to be the cleanest type of beef to eat. Traditional beef is loaded with hormones and chemicals. I don't encourage people to do that at all. The animal proteins have to be clean. Don't overdo them. Every other day, they should be eaten with vegetables. Cholesterol, a person eating a diet like the intermediate level diet, I'd be very surprised if their lipid profile wouldn't be where it's supposed to be for an optimally healthy person.
Thank you, Fred. That was wonderful. Also, a second question by Sarah from Down Under was, especially with her mom with the high cholesterol, about the nut butters that are out there. She mentions an organic macadamia nut butter, which would probably be very tasty. And she talks about the temperature. She found out it was 35 degrees Celsius, which, broken down to Fahrenheit, that's about 95 degrees Fahrenheit for us.
Right.
And so she was wondering if this is okay for her mom in general. What's your general closing thoughts on that?
Well, again, Rory, what I look at is I like to look at the whole picture. Just to say the macadamia nut butter is not good or okay, it all depends upon what else a mother's eating. If she's eating a good diet, she's leaving out all the processed food. Remember, what you leave out is the key. That's what makes everything work. Your human body has fantastic ability to heal itself based on what you leave out. The food that you eat is you're going to provide all the nutrients that you need in its highest biological form. Macadamia nuts are high in fat. They should be raw if you can eat them, and as far as I'm concerned, that's my experience, because when you ever heat fats, remember, whenever you heat fats beyond 115, 118 degrees, you're kind of altering the molecule structure, and it might not be that good for you. I know there's cultures in the world where they tell you just to eat roasted nuts. I definitely don't agree with that. From my experience, in over 40 years, watching 25 to 30,000 people, it has become very clear to me what works and what doesn't work. And I'm not a type of person that puts everybody on the same type of a diet. I don't believe in that. I believe people that try to do that are making a big mistake. Not everybody can follow the same type of diet, but everybody can be put on a diet that's improving from what they're doing and could make them very, very healthy.
Thanks, Fred. That was great. And Sarah, thank you for your wishes for a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. We wish that to your family as well as all of our friends down in Australia and worldwide. Thanks a lot. And don't forget to check out our website, www.fredbisciforhealth.com, on the blog videos, and make some comments. Thank you.